Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. On special request of junior lawyers and law students, today's lecture is about Constitution of Pakistan on fingertips. Today I will teach you what are the basic sections, what are the basic articles, what are the basic chapters to operate the Constitution of Pakistan, and how to understand this technical and difficult subject in an easy way. So we will understand how many parts in which the Constitution is distributed, how many articles and how many chapters are there. My name is Ghulam Sajjad Gopang. I am MBA Finance first position holder from IBA University of Sindh Jamshoro. I am LLB first position holder from Quaid-e-Azam Law College Nawab Shah Sindh. I am the first advocate Supreme Court in the history of Nawab Shah Bar Association, and I am the youngest advocate in the history of Supreme Court of Pakistan. I am having more than 1000 cases pending at Supreme Court and having more than 100 cases reported in PLD law books of Pakistan. My three most famous cases are reported in 2019 SCMR page number 2063. My second case is reported is PLD 2020 Supreme Court 293, and my third and latest case is reported in PLD 2022 Supreme Court page number 64. Due to busy schedule of cases, I cannot attend calls. Therefore, in every lecture, I request my audience to contact on my WhatsApp number 03332682662 to have a message. You just have to drop a message on my WhatsApp number. I, along with my legal team, whenever we will be free, we will coordinate you immediately. So, the Constitution of Pakistan has 12 parts, 280 articles, and 7 schedules. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. Sixth and seventh schedules are omitted. The smallest part is part 1. The smallest part of Constitution of Pakistan is part 1. It has no chapter. The largest and widest part of the Constitution of Pakistan is part number 12. It has 7 chapters. The largest article of the Constitution of Pakistan is Article 203, which has 14 sub-articles A, B, C, double C, double D, double G, up to J. The most important part, in my personal view, is part number 7 of the Constitution, that is Judicature. Part 7 of the Constitution deals with the courts, all the courts operating in Islamic Jamhuriyat Pakistan. It deals from Article 175 to Article 212B. It deals the powers, jurisdictions, and the legal procedures of all the courts of Pakistan, from Honorable Supreme Court to High Court and up to the subordinate courts. Please remember that in Islamic Jamhuriyat Pakistan there are 3 pillars of the state. Number 1 is legislature. Number 2 is executive or establishment. And number 3 is judiciary. So, the Constitution of Pakistan provides a separation of power, a philosophy of separation of power, that one organ of the state will not interfere into the operation of the other organ of the state. On this point, I have delivered a very, very important lecture on Article 68 and Article 69, in which the separation of power of Parliament and the judiciary has been elaborated by me in detail. You can watch this lecture on my YouTube channel. So let's start. as I told you that part 1 is the smallest one, having no chapter, and then part 2 is having chapters. Part 1 is introductory and part 2 is fundamental rights and principles of policy. Part 2's chapter number 1 is fundamental right. That is very important, just like you invoke Article 199 by filing a constitutional petition before the Honorable High Court, and the Honorable High Court has the right to enforce the fundamental rights of citizens of Pakistan under Article 199. And similarly, the Honorable Supreme Court under Article 184(3) of the Constitution has the power to enforce the fundamental rights of the citizens of Pakistan. Chapter number 1 is fundamental rights. Part number 2 is this. It starts from Article 7 and it ends at Article 28. It deals laws inconsistent with the derogation of fundamental rights to be wide, security of persons, safeguards as to arrest, right to fair trial. Article 10A, very important. Article 10A provides right of fair trial. On this specific point, my lecture is available on my YouTube channel. Then slavery, protection against the retrospective punishment, protection against the double punishment, Article 13, double jeopardy, and then Article 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and ends at Article 28. Chapter number 2 deals with principles of policy. It starts from principle of policy, Article 29, and ends at Article 40, strengthening bonds with Muslims. Part number 3 deals the Federation of Pakistan, Article 41, the President, Article 42, oath of President, Article 43, conditions of President's office, and it ends at Article 49, Chairman or Speaker to act as perform functions of President. Then is chapter number 2, the Majlis-e-Shura. Majlis-e-Shura, the Parliament. It starts from Article 50 and ends at Article 66. And then procedure generally starting from Article 57, rules or procedures, and it ends at the rules 69. On Article 69, I have delivered a lecture which you can see on my YouTube channel. Then is legislative procedure. It starts from Article 70, introduction and passing of bills in Parliament, and it ends at tax to be levied by the law only, Article 77. Then starts financial procedure from Article 78. It ends at Article 88, finance committees. Then ordinances that starts and ends at one article, that is power of President to promulgate ordinances, under Article 89. Chapter 3 is dealing the federal government. First was the legislature, which ended at Article 89. I repeat, 3 pillars: legislature, executive, and the judiciary. So first pillar is starting from chapter number 2, Majlis-e-Shura, Article 50. The powers and functions of first pillar of the state starts from chapter number 2, Majlis-e-Shura, Article number 50, and it ends at Article 89. Then starts chapter number 3, the federal government, that is executive establishment. Chapter number 3, the federal government, executives, powers and functions, starts from Article 90 and it has 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 96A. 96 and 96A articles are omitted. Then is Article 97 and it ends at Attorney General for Pakistan, Article 100. That is the representative of the state. Then starts part number 4, provinces. Provinces, chapter number 1, the governors, and Article 101 deals with the appointment of governors. It ends at Article 105, governor to act on advice. Then is chapter number 2, the provincial assemblies. First was the National Assembly Parliament, and then it is chapter number 2, which is dealing the provincial assemblies. So the legislature on the federal level is ended and provincial level is started from part number 4, that is governor, and then part number chapter number 2, provincial assemblies, starting from Article 106 and up to 117. Then is financial procedure, that is starting from Article 118 and it is ended at Article 127, provisions relating to the National Assembly to apply to the provincial assemblies. Then is ordinances, which is under Article 128, power of governor to promulgate ordinances. First I told you the powers of president to promulgate under Article 59, and then Article 89, power of president to promulgate ordinances, and now is Article 128 of the Constitution, which is power of governor to promulgate the ordinance. Chapter 3 deals the provincial governments. Then again the executive of provincial level, the second organ of the state. Chapter number 3, provincial governments, starts from Article 129, exercise of executive authority of the provinces. It ends at 140A, local government. Then is part number 4, a relationship between federation and provinces. Now this is very important, part 5 of the Constitution, which deals the relations between the executives, the federal executive as well as the provincial executive, the second part of the state. It starts from Article 141, extent of federal and provincial laws, and it ends at Article 144, power of Majlis Shura Parliament to legislate one or more provinces by consent. Then is chapter number 2, administrative relations between the federation and provinces. Now on this point, Article 145 to Article 152, I have delivered a comprehensive lecture on my YouTube channel to understand that in which situations the federal government can interfere into the matters of provincial governments, and in which categories after 18th Amendment the provincials are at liberty, they are more powerful, they are independent. But again, I have delivered comprehensive lectures on Article 145 to Article 152 in my YouTube channel. You can watch it in detail, that in which categories the federal government can still interfere. Then is chapter number 3, special provisions. It starts from 152A, which is omitted, and then 153, the Council of Common Interests, ends at 159. Part number 6 deals finance, property, contracts and suits, and chapter number 1 is finance, distribution of revenues between the federation and the provinces. how the funds will be utilized, how the revenues will be distributed. And then is miscellaneous financial provisions, Article 164, 165 and 165A. Chapter number 2 is borrowing and audit. It has Article 166 and 167, only two articles. Then is audit and accounts. It deals from Article 68, Auditor General of Pakistan, 169 functions, 170 powers of auditor, and 171 reports of Auditor General. Chapter number 3 deals property, contracts and liabilities and suits. It has 172, 173 and 174, three articles. Part number 7 is the judicature, which is very important that you have to understand in detail. On specific this part 7, I have delivered a comprehensive lecture on my YouTube channel. It starts from Article 75. This is establishment and jurisdiction of the courts, and 175A, appointment of judges of Supreme Court and High Court. And then chapter number 2, the Supreme Court of Pakistan. It starts from Article 179, the Constitution of Supreme Court. Then 177, appointment of Supreme Court judges. 178, oath of the office. 179, retiring judges. 180, acting Chief Justice. 181, acting judges. And it ends at 151, rules of procedure. This is about Honorable Supreme Court. Article 175, starting from Article 175 up to 191, the Constitution elaborates and defines the powers and procedures of Honorable Supreme Court and the appointment of judges. Then comes chapter number 3, which deals about the High Courts, Honorable High Courts. Article 192 is the section which starts this chapter number 3 and ends at 203. Chapter number 3 elaborates Constitution of High Court, appointment of High Court judges, oath office, retiring judges, acting Chief Justice, and it ends at 203, High Court to superintend the subordinate court. So this Article 203 is very important. Whenever any, I have defined the writs, in which 5 types of writs. I have delivered 3 lectures on constitutional point of view. And then the appeals and revisions. Under what authority the Honorable High Court have the power to supervise, that is elaborated in Article 203 of the Constitution, that High Court to superintend the subordinate courts. And then is chapter number 3A, that is Federal Shariat Court. Article 203A deals provisions of chapter to override after provisions of the Constitution. And then goes 203B, 203C, 203CC, which is omitted. 203C is Federal Shariat Court. 203D, powers, jurisdiction of the function of the court. 203D, revision and other jurisdiction of the court. 203E, powers and procedure. 203F, 203G, 203GG. And 203H, pending proceedings to continue. 203I is omitted, and 203J is power to make rules. Chapter number 4 deals general provisions relating to the judicature. These are general regarding all courts. 204, very important, that is contempt of court. Now Article 204 deals generally about all the dignity, about all the courts and their dignities and wisdoms, that if anybody obstructs into the operation or implementation of any judgment of the court, or scandalizes, humiliates the dignity and wisdom of the courts, subordinate court, high court or Supreme Court, then the courts are empowered to take strict legal action against the alleged contemptor if he is proved as contemptor. So, chapter number 4, general provisions relating to judicature. It starts from Article 204 and ends at 212B. 212A and 212B are omitted. However, 212 administrative courts and tribunals are maintained. And then is part number 8, that is elections. Chapter number 1 is Chief Election Commissioner and Election Commissions. It starts from Article 213, Chief Election Commissioner, then oath of office, and set Article 212, officers and then staff. Chapter 2, Electoral Laws and Conduct of Elections. It starts from Article 222 and ends at Article 226. Then is part number 9, Islamic Provisions. It starts from Article 227, Provisions relating to the Holy Quran and Sunnah, and ends at Rules of Procedure. And part number 10 of this chapter. Part number 10 is Emergency Provisions. Article 232, Proclamation of Emergency on account of war and international disturbance. Article 233, Power to suspend fundamental rights. Article 234, for an instance, in the time of General Pervez Musharraf, Ziaul Haq and other armed dictators, the fundamental rights were suspended. That action of those generals did not come within the provisions and definitions of Article 233, because in that situation the constitution could not have been suspended. The only situation is war or any disturbance, external disturbance. Otherwise, the fundamental rights cannot be suspended. But whenever any dictator comes in Pakistan, it invokes this Article 233. And then is Article 234, 235, 236 and 237. Part number 11 deals amendment of Constitution, and part number 12 deals miscellaneous. Amendment of Constitution, and again a very important subject. What kind of amendment can be made in the Constitution, and what is the power of Honorable Supreme Court or High Court to struck off that amendment? Simply, I'm describing, but my detailed lecture is available on YouTube channel. You can watch in detail. Simply, I can teach you that if any amendment is against the basic structure of the Constitution or the Islamic, the rules of Islam, Quran and Sunnah, or any other basic structure of the Constitution, any such amendment is hitting it, that amendment can be struck off by the Honorable High Court and Supreme Court. So the power of Parliament ends at that point, that if any amendment has been made by any national or provincial assembly which is against the basic structure of Constitution, that can be struck off, that can be knocked down, that can be set aside and declared ultra virus to the Constitution by the Honorable High Court and Supreme Court. And my famous case of sacked employees matter, and that matter is reported, that famous case is reported in PLD 2020 to Supreme Court, page number 64, in which my detailed arguments were submitted before the Honorable Supreme Court on this point, that on what ground the amendments or the laws can be declared ultra vires. So now it is part number 12, that is miscellaneous. Part number 2 is regarding armed forces, Article 243, 244, 245. Chapter number 2 is then tribal areas, and then tribal areas and administration of tribal areas. Chapter 4 is general protection to president, governor, minister, etc. It starts from Article 248 and ends at Article 249. Then is chapter 5, that is interpretation. It starts from Article 260 and ends at 264. Chapter 6 deals with title, commencement and repeal starts from 265 and ends at 266. Chapter 7 is transitional. That starts from Article 267, power of President to remove difficulties, and it ends at Article 290 of the Constitution.